causes wind? As you can see, I'm outside and it's kind of a windy day. That's going to be the focus of this week. What causes wind? So before we can really talk about what causes wind, we do need to review what air pressure is. So I'm going to give you another demonstration showing that air pushes in all directions. So I want you to observe very closely what happens when I take these push pins out of my bottle. So as I take the push pins out, there is a hole in the bottle, 4 holes actually, and you can see the water's not coming out. But what happens when I take the lid off? So the air now is pushing down, which is forcing the water out of the bottle. What happens when I put the lid back on? It stops that flow of air from the top and then keeps the water in. Now sometimes kids play a joke on their parents or their siblings, and they'll put a hole in there and put the lid on, and they don't know until they grab the bottle and then the water squeezes out. But I don't advise that. So the air pressure, as we've seen again, pushes in all directions. But what does that have to do with the wind and what causes it? So if you remember before spring break, we talked about in your home where the hottest part of the house was, and it's always upstairs. You go downstairs and it's cooler in the winter and in the summer. Well, if you remember, we talked about the hot air. The molecules are spread far apart, which makes warmer air less dense. Less dense air, or less dense anything, tends to rise. When something's colder, the molecules are squeezed closer together, and then those, whatever that is, will tend to sink. So it's the same thing when we go outside, but on a much larger scale. When the sun warms up the air, that makes the molecules spread far apart, makes it more active, and that warm air rises. The colder air, wherever that might be in the world, and as the world rotates, then these air masses tend to meet each other. And so the cold air, the molecules are packed closer together, and they tend to sink. So you've got warm air rising, cold air sinking. When those two air masses meet, they move, and that causes wind. So here's a quick quiz. I've got some emoji stickers, and they represent air molecules. One side, here's my emoji stickers. The other side, there's emoji stickers. Can you tell me which one is warm air and which one is cold air? If you guessed this was cold air, you are correct. And if you guessed this is warm air, you are correct. Notice how much space is in between each sticker or air molecule. That also gives more room for moisture, for humidity. And then these are really packed together, that's cold air. That's also why in the winter it's really dry. You need a lot of lotion because there's not a lot of room for moisture to get in between the air molecules. So just a quick lesson on the air molecules, what causes wind, and have fun this week.